What is up, Star Wars fans? This is Darth Watson. In this video, we have to review episodes 3 and 4 of Maul Shadow Lord. And before I get into the topic, this fair warning, this video does contain potential spoilers. There should be a spoiler warning on the thumbnail as well, but this video does contain potential spoilers for the show. So if you are one of those who haven't had a chance to get to Maul Shadow Lord and want to watch Maul Shadow Lord at one point and don't want any spoilers, I highly recommend you hop off this video right now, for this video does contain potential spoilers for Maul Shadow Lord. So let's get on to the topic. So Maul Shadow Lord, episode 3 picks up where episode 2 left off. We see Devin making her escape. She finds Darth Maul. And then there's a confrontation between Maul and Devin, and the whole scene goes dark. And while it's dark in the chamber with Darth Maul and Devin, Devin took Maul's lightsaber, and then there's a huge fight towards the end of the episode between Maul and Devin. And Maul was feeling up Devin, getting her to tap into her anger. And you know how fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Anger is the path to the dark side. And Yoda described that perfectly in episode 1, how fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. So Maul was taunting Devin, getting her to tap into her anger. And then his intention is to get Devin as his apprentice, possibly as Darth Talon. She could most definitely turn to the dark side. And with what I saw in this episode, that is definitely possible. We also get some scenes with Lawson, and Lawson goes to his son's tournament. We get to see a sporting event where Lawson goes to his son's sporting event, and then we also get Iko Diodaki, who is searching for Devin, and basically warns Lawson about Maul. And then later he leaks the location where Maul is at once Devin reunites with her master Iko Diodaki. And then later there's a lightsaber duel between Devin and her master Daki, and then they both fight. Iko Diodaki gets injured at the end, and then we get to see an awesome lightsaber battle confrontation. And then later, because you know how Lawson didn't want the Empire involved, but Two Boots was starting to remain defiant, but somebody had to fire him up again after he turned him off, after Lawson turned him off. And then he contacted the Empire, and then we saw at the end of episode 2, the Empire came in, and it's not looking too good. Now it ends with the Empire coming in, and it leaves me hanging to see what happens next in the next couple of episodes that's coming out on Monday. So I am super excited to see what happens next. These episodes were phenomenal, and I wasn't able to go scene by scene or do a full on breakdown scene by scene, but I already see other creators doing that, and I don't want to copy off of other creators by doing that on my channel. I'm just giving my review and my perspective of the show, and basically what I see is happening. And based on what I see in the first episode with Maul and Devin, there's a very good chance, it teases a very good chance that eventually Devin will end up giving into the dark side, and she might become Darth Talon, which is based on a recycled idea from George Lucas's original sequel trilogy, where Talon is the apprentice of Darth Maul, although it would be much earlier in between the events of episode 3 and episode 4, instead of after Return of the Jedi, just like George Lucas originally intended. Because as we all know, based on the Star Wars Archives book, George Lucas had intentions of making Maul the main villain of the sequel trilogy. Maul becomes the godfather of crime, and he controls all of the criminal syndicates. And this time it's brought much earlier, but all of this build up with Maul in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, and now we see him in Maul Shadow Lord. all of this buildup with Darth Maul that we see, it's based on George Lucas's recycled idea for the sequel trilogy. Although Maul becomes the godfather of crime much earlier, he controls all of the criminal syndicates by the events of Solo: A Star Wars Story, and we're definitely going to be diving more into Crimson Dawn with future episodes that are going to be coming up and stuff that will tie into Solo: A Star Wars Story, also stuff based on what George Lucas originally intended for a sequel trilogy based on Darth Maul and Darth Talon, although Darth Maul and Darth Talon would be much earlier in the timeline. But if Devin becomes Darth Talon after Maul dies, like Devin ends up taking control of the criminal syndicates as Darth Talon, and that could set up for future Star Wars stories for after the events of the sequel trilogy. But she becomes the godmother of crime, and she controls all of the syndicates, and that'll be something to challenge the New Republic with Rey and her new Jedi Order, with the Charmin Obaid-Chinoy Star Wars movie that could come out sometime, but I don't see that movie coming out anytime soon. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Do make sure to smash a like, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you all later in another video.